The Deal News Podcast, episode 232 for October 17th. Wherefore art thou, iPad mini? What'd you think of that intro?
I don't know. It was like the disembodied hand coming out.
I realized that I was gesturing off to the side, and you couldn't really say I should have gone this way.
Yeah, there you go.
Although that's still, for those of you listening, that looks very impressive on video. Check out the video version of this podcast for that opening. Hey, speaking of joining me are Dan and Lewis. Hey, guys.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Didn't mean to just jump right into asking about how my performance in reading the title was. Sorry, I should.
It's all right.
I mean to announce you guys right at the top. You're very important to the show. You are possibly the two most important people on the show.
If they don't know us by now, there could be trouble.
Right. See, maybe we should just get like, "Hello, my name is."
Name tags.
Yeah, so that we don't have to worry
idea.
about introducing anymore.
I like that.
All right, and I never introduced myself at the top of the show. I'm Jeff Somogyi. Goodbye. Oh, wait. No. I tricked myself. I thought it was over. It is not. Let's see. We start off this episode by talking about some feedback. The subject line came in. What I think of your... I love it when it comes in like that.
Good
they followed up, though, with story on gift card tipping. I have a solution for Starbucks et al. They could put an optional setting in their app which would allow a user to round up their purchase amount to the next whole. Pardon me. What was that?
Were you choking on the fact about the tipping, or what was that?
Is $1 too much?
Second puberty is hitting. Let me go back and do a little bit more of that. Allow a user to round up their purchase amount to the next whole dollar. A virtual change jar, if you will. Longtime listener and big fan of the show. Oh, and also a big fan of Some Summonings Are Suspect. That's a short story that I wrote, available on Amazon. You're welcome. Thank you for the plug. I didn't plug myself. They did. What? I wasn't going to delete it. All right. Thank you for the show and the site. The greatest way for me to spend money. Corey. Well, thank you very much, Corey, for writing in. That actually, that's a great suggestion. Because then you're not like at the point of sale. You're not getting a notification that says, "Oh, do you want to add $1 or whatever?" It's just automatically factored in. So, the person says, "Oh, that'll be $4.75," which is not unreasonable for a Starbucks coffee, right? And instead, it deducts from your account $5. And if you're using a gift card, whole amounts are better because then you're going to end at like the dollar amount. They get a tip. Everyone's happy. What do you guys think? You still against tipping coffee people? I make you sound like monsters.
No, great. Our pictures will be at every Starbucks banned from.
Do not serve.
Spit in this man's cup.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, Bank of America already has a program like that. Mm-hmm. It's called Keep the Change.
Right.
And it throws it into your savings account. So I don't know what that would do to my Keep the Change program. I mean,
it would override it, I guess.
I guess it would. Yeah, I'd never have any change to keep because it's all going to Starbucks or something.
Or maybe you found a loophole. Maybe it'll go into both because it'll happen at exactly the same moment.
Same time.
So you like double your change.
Yes, this will be like Office Space.
Right.
It's like a percent of a percent.
They get a tip, you get savings, everyone's happy. Nothing comes out of your pocket. It's great.
Then I go to jail.
Right. One of us will. I don't know. All right, let's see. We have a follow-up. This week, last week, it was rumored that the invitations to the iPad mini event were going to go out. All of last week. Are there cars driving by someone's house?
Well,
I just heard.
Not here,
no. Oh, no. Sorry, just really threw me off. I don't know why. Cars. I've never heard cars drive by before, I guess.
It could have been me mouth breathing, though. That could have, because I had sinus surgery. So.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah, last Friday.
Do you feel better from it?
Well, no, it's still like all clogged up on one side because I only do one side at a time. But But enough about me and my sinuses.
Try not to breathe through that side. Breathe through the other side.
Yeah. Is that what you heard?
That is what I heard. That is what I heard. Well,
I'll breathe away from the microphone then. Go
sorry
ahead.
to hear that, Dan. I'm glad you're up and about, and I hope the next half goes just as well.
Send me an invitation to the iPad mini event, and I'll be okay.
Right. Are you trying to get us back on track, Dan?
I was.
All right. So yeah, invites were supposed to go out. That was the rumor. They did not go out. The rumor was that invites would go out last week and the event would happen this week. Neither of that happened. But now the rumor is that the event is going to happen on October 23rd. Let me just quickly look at my calendar.
Wow.
I should have done that before. That is next Tuesday, a week from today. Do you believe that Apple would actually have a event happen without?
Yeah, it's official, Jeff. The Apple officialized it. Yep.
Oh, when did that happen?
They announced it. I want to say like not too long ago, maybe like an hour, 2 hours ago.
Oh,
Wow.
no wonder. All right. I thought I had finished up show prep. So, all right. Well, I take it all back. Wherefore Art Thou iPad Mini? There you go.
There it is.
So it's definitely happening on October 23rd.
Yes.
All right. What did the invitation say? Anything?
So the event is called "We've Got a Little More to Show You," and it just has the logo, like the top half of the apple, like where the leaf is, and kind of like a rainbow colored in the back. You know, a lot of people are now saying that most likely these little things they're going to show is going to be a Mac Mini,
right?
Possibly a refresh of the Mac Mini, a new 13-inch MacBook Pro with a Retina display, and of course the main one, the iPad Mini.
Right. The key is in a little more to show you, and
We'll
people
play on
ran
words.
with that. Oh, all right. So the big news is, of course, going to be the iPad Mini. We're going to see what happens there. But I also didn't know about the. You said a 13-inch MacBook with Retina.
Yeah, 13-inch MacBook Pro with the Retina. So it'll be, you know, bringing along the Retina screen to the rest of the MacBook Pro family.
And do you think the Mac Mini is really gonna come out, or is it just people like, what other mini products do they have? Let's just see.
It's due for a refresh.
Yeah?
It's definitely due for a refresh, I think. And I mean, the Mac Mini's that kind of refresh that they'll do and not really announce. You know,
Right.
usually the store will go down and like, oh look, new Mac Minis.
Right.
So if they do refresh the Mac Mini, I think it's gonna be like, oh, by the way, you know,
Right.
there's a new Mac Mini.
Do you think they'll even talk about it at the event then, or will it just be like, oh, well, you're going to go to the store and look for the iPad Mini and be like, hey, what's this? A new Mac Mini?
I think if they do something different with the design of it, like maybe if they shrink it down a little bit more, if they give it some sort of I don't know, if they blend it in with Apple TV or somehow, maybe they'll talk about it. But otherwise, I don't see them. I think it'll be like definitely iPad Mini focused, the event.
How long do you think it is until some pundit uses the term monumental?
They probably have already.
I just did. I am my worst enemy when it comes to punditry.
Nice.
I suppose. All right. Well, so there's your update. I don't think we're going to delay next week's podcast in order to cover the iPad Mini. So we may talk about it the week from, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Do you think it's worth postponing the podcast just to cover the iPad Mini? It's not.
What time was it going to be at?
Probably 1, right?
Yeah, usually they do it like 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah. So we could sneak it in. We could sneak it in.
Or we could delay it and just have a live feed up the side screen or something like they do on CNN.
Oh, do you want to try and record live at 1 p.m.?
Oh, that would be
and, like,
scary.
Yeah, I don't know. Since they don't do a video feed of it, it's not like we'd even be able to react. We would be reacting to like a live blog of someone else. It was like,
oh, so-and-so
right.
so-and-so just wrote that Tim Cook is on stage.
Right.
Now they're
We
playing
should just let's reenact it with hand puppets. That's the best way to do it.
Use it like a script. I'll get a Tim Cook puppet all set and
Perfect.
Let's see, Lewis, you can be the head of EA Gaming.
I'll play a game. Like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'll just have a puppet that like represents the excited look of people in the audience.
Exactly.
Open mouth.
Yeah, open mouth all the time.
That's it. Love it. And then see, but by doing it that way as well, if we did do it live, there would be that time where, like we were just talking about with the, like, oh, now they're playing an EA game. So it'd be the three of us sitting here like,
still
playing a game.
A lot of weather we're having.
Yeah. So look forward to that. Next week we will talk about the iPad Mini in some way, shape, or form. I think we could watch the event and then go right into the podcast. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm
sure. Let's do that.
All right. Our next story. This one is a personal beef of mine. Do people still use that term, beef, as a problem? Okay. All right. I didn't know if that's bringing it back from the '80s with the "Where's my beef" sort of thing. I just found out I did not receive one of these cards that everyone else is receiving in the mail. Maybe I did. Maybe I just threw it out thinking it was them trying to upsell me. But apparently Time Warner is, as of October 15th, going to be charging me $3.95 to rent the modem that they had given to me before.
Really?
So on top of my bill each month is going to be an extra $4 charge. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Well, here's my question now, because I had that similar problem a long time ago with, was it, I don't know, they merged and changed names so many times, but I went in and asked them if I could just go out and buy my own modem, and they said, yeah, you could totally do that, and that would negate the charge. But it doesn't seem fair for them to not charge you, and then to all of a sudden, oh, by the way, we're deciding to charge you $4 a month for a modem that you had for 12 years.
Right. Thanks. Was this a gift or not? What? Come on, now you gotta pay for it? Man, I thought I at least got something free with my really expensive cable plan. Yeah, and Time Warner does say that they sent out a list, I guess, of modems that will work with their service. The cheapest one that they say will work is $50. So, I mean, you're looking at a whole year before you're making that money back, you know?
Right.
And yes, if I'm going to continue to stay with Time Warner, which I probably am, it would behoove me to have it. But then you start thinking, if anything happens to that modem within that year, I don't get a free replacement like I do with Time Warner. And I think this is where they get me, you know?
Wait,
maybe not everyone.
They don't give you a free replacement if something happens to
Well, if you buy the $50 modem on your own.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, like, renting it. But, like...
Oh, right. Like, right now, this is, like, the 7th modem that I've had because they come by and it's the first thing they do, swap it out.
Swap
like,
the modem, yeah.
Right. Maybe that's why they have to start charging for it because the first thing they do is throw out a modem that's perfectly good.
Well, maybe it's not really you're paying for the modem, so to speak. Maybe it's like the insurance stipend that you have to pay, like at the cell phone place.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
even though it would be a shame if something happened to your modem. Yeah.
Hey, I'd hate to see that modem go out like in the middle of an important download.
Yeah, exactly. $4 a month, that could work.
But I mean, seriously, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Because like you said, if they're going through modems like, water through a sieve, it's like, it would only make sense for them to try to recoup that money somehow.
Yeah, maybe they should put in, other measures then that don't have them tossing and chucking out old modems left and right. Like work on that. I don't know.
If it makes you feel better, on Comcast they charge me $7 a month for the cable modem rental, and they've been doing that since forever, since I've had Comcast, which is years. So I'm actually kind of shocked that they weren't already charging me the rental fee.
I got a free upgrade when I upgraded to the FiOS, the big, what do they call it, the Quantum, the double throwdown, really fast one. They threw in the modem for free, and they finally got around to beefing it up to wireless in, which was nice.
Was the modem that they threw in for free for you like one you get to keep even after the service is gone, or?
I don't know about that. That's a good idea.
Probably
I guess
not.
I should probably take all those Hello Kitty stickers off.
Right.
I'm looking at it. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, I just reminded of we were in this apartment and we had Time Warner cable for 8 years at this point, and like 3 years ago I started having a problem and I called them up and they're like, read me the serial number on it, and I read to them and they're like, oh, that's one of our old modems. You shouldn't even have that.
I love when they say that, right? It's
So I wondered, like, if I had been paying for the modem at that point, I would have been furious.
Oh yeah,
to
absolutely.
think that I was paying $4 a month for like old hardware that other people are paying and getting like new stuff for. But as it was, I was like, well, I wasn't paying for it anyway, and you're giving me a new one, so that's fine. So I don't know. This is
interesting.
It's just all making me mad. But sorry to say it, Lewis. Hearing that you pay $7, it makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. Well, I'll pay them $7 a month then for it. Solidarity between the podcasters.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. Our next story is part of our holiday shopping news segment. And you might say, what? It's only October. Why are you talking about the holidays? Do you know Deal News? We start covering the holidays in like September.
Sure.
It's great. You have to know going into these things, man. You got to know. You can't just expect to pick up the newspaper on the day before Black Friday and get all the information you need. We got to dole it out to you in small bites throughout the entire season. This time, the news comes from Best Buy, who swears that they are going to price match online stores like Amazon throughout the holiday season. So if you go into their retail box stores, I'm assuming that they will match the price for you. But then further, if they don't have it, they say that they will then ship it to you when it's available for no extra cost.
Wow.
What do you guys think? Is this making Best Buy relevant during the Black Friday holiday / Christmas holiday season?
If they stick to it and they really have the product and they price match it and you get it without any hassles, without having to go to 6 different stores or without having to wait, 2 months or whatnot, then that's awesome. But I'm a little bit, I don't know, a little bit doubtful on that.
Why?
Yeah.
Just because it's Best Buy?
Perhaps.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I think it's awesome and it's great marketing for them to say that they'll price match Amazon and things like that. But let us not forget, my friends, what happened last year with all those amazingly low prices that they had during Black Friday, and then trickling in weeks or even months afterwards, all those messages. Oh, we're sorry, we don't have it, we can't get it.
Right. Turns out we don't have stock, so we've canceled it, and it's a week before Christmas. So good luck.
But we have this model that costs $100 more, and
you can upgrade. Exactly.
Yeah, you can upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, the way it seems worded is that could possibly be an option. I mean, if they are sold out of it in store and you say, look, Amazon has it for $20 less than what you have, and they say, all right, well, we'll ship it to you at that price with free shipping for, no extra fee. Do they guarantee that it'll get there at a certain time, or is this like next March you receive a television in the mail and you're like, why did I buy that?
Yeah, I double check what the terms are and see how quickly they plan to get it to you. Maybe there's a cutoff date there or somewhere, but it is a really smart move by Best Buy because it gives them that they're competing with online prices, and maybe this is also an attempt for them to stop people from, what was it they called it, showrooming?
Yes.
Yeah,
Showrooming.
Because now you're like, oh, just get it from us, we'll price match Amazon. There you go, simple.
Yeah,
well,
that's the smartest thing.
And two, I would like to know whether that applies to third-party merchants. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the third party, sometimes the third party merchant has prices way lower than what Amazon has.
Right. So, how hard is it to become a third-party merchant? Because I can see that you set up a third-party merchant at Amazon, put the item that you want up for sale, say that it's out of stock there, and be like, oh, I just ran out of one. Then go to Best Buy and be like, oh, but don't tell them that it's your third.
Wait a second. Can you say that slower?
That's the loophole right there.
That's the loophole. That'd be great.
I'm sure they're not going to match. They can't match everyone, right? Because, I mean, some of those, I don't know. Some of those third-party merchants, do they even? I don't know.
Let me see if I can register the name Dan's Basement Bargain.
Right. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want for gifts this year? Let's put everything on Dan's Bargain.
iPad Mini.
Yeah,
iPad Mini for $2.
Right. Don't get greedy, Dan. Come on, $5.99.
All right, $5.99 plus shipping.
So, I mean, this is, if anything, it's a good way for Best Buy to seem relevant during this upcoming holiday season, and then maybe might do a little bit to smooth over that ill will that they generated from last holiday season. But, my question is outside of people like us who pay a great attention to these types of things, does the general non-deal hunter public remember that Best Buy did this last year? I wonder,
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
Right? Like how much ill will is actually out there, and probably not much. Which also means that this promotion next year we're gonna totally forget about as well.
Right.
It's you gotta base the holidays based on what they offer you that holidays, I guess. So all right, well, thanks Best Buy for trying that.
We'll have to follow up on that and see what all the stipulations and limitations of it are.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, because, I mean, what if it's like, oh, well, in-store means any store within a 50-mile radius.
Right.
And so it's like, well, you could have gotten it up at, the one in the Bronx, because that's within 50 miles of Staten Island,
Right.
And it might turn out to be a hassle. Who knows? But that just might be us thinking the worst of Best Buy.
That is true. Now, I mean, that it could be that they might step up to the plate and really do something spectacular, but
Nah.
I'm gonna hang on. That's
Poor Best
awesome.
Buy.
Yeah, we're sorry, Best Buy.
I'm not. All right, new
Okay.
news. This is about the Microsoft Surface tablets finally surfacing.
Oh, sweet.
I am a wordsmith. I craft words to do my bidding. All right, Lewis, tell us a little bit about these tablets.
So it's official. The Microsoft, I hate this name, Surface for Windows RT tablet will go up for pre-order today, Tuesday, I guess, for $499 for the 32 gig version.
Wow.
Big ouch, huh?
Yeah, so when they said that they're going to be priced in line with competitors, I guess they assume that their only competitor is the iPad and not those $199 tablets that have been hanging around.
Right. And just to repeat, this is the RT version. So this is the one that's running the ARM-based processor. So you can't use the old legacy apps. So you're going to be limited to only running new apps on this one. And so far, I don't think there are that many new apps for you to run yet. But I think most people really were hoping. I know I definitely was, that the RT tablet would have been a lot cheaper.
Right.
$199, $299 even.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
$499. I'm like, wow, that's.
I know you come out and you say, well, we have this really high-end Microsoft Surface tablet that runs high-end software and has full functionality of Windows 8 operating system and everything. And then we have this other one which, runs on slower hardware and more lean and whatever. And you're thinking savings. And for the smaller one that you thought was going to be lean to come out at a price for the iPad, what are the full-bodied ones going to come out for? Are they going to start at $1,000 for a tablet?
Right, because those are the ones running the Core I processors. This one, like I said, this one's running the ARM processor. So if this is the saving, if this is the cheap one, I'm a little nervous now about what the full-fledged ones are going to cost.
Yeah, this story essentially just kind of, I don't know, I kind of had high hopes for the Microsoft Surface tablet. They would actually do something right, and this definitely puts a hole in that balloon for me.
Right. Do you guys remember the cover that kind of doubles as the the keyboard?
Oh, yeah. Right.
An extra $100.
What?
Yeah, an extra $100, at least for the 32 gig version. I think the 64 gig might include it, but the cheaper 32 gig version, it's an extra $100.
So it's going to be $599 if you want the keyboard cover.
Right.
Wow.
All right. So
yeah, actually, I take it back. I'm reading it right now. The cover is $120, not $100. So it's an extra $120 for the touch cover, which is what it's called.
So over $600 for the entry level one.
Yeah. Well, I think they give you a $20 discount if you buy them together. So if it's the package deal, I think it is $599 for the tablet and the cover. But if you buy the cover separately, it's $120. I think.
Wow.
If I'm reading that correctly. I don't know. Either way, it's ridiculous. I mean, $20 here and there once you pay $600. It's not that big of a deal, but still, we're looking at $600 or more.
I don't think I'm going to run out and buy one.
That was going to be my next question.
No.
So this has pretty much, in my mind, erased Microsoft Surface tablets as a competitor for my dollar because
sadly,
just can't afford.
I mean, at least compete with the Kindle, compete with the Nexus. Those are good tablets with good hardware. And Microsoft is pretty much saying nope, they're not worthy of our competition. We're aiming for the iPad. Yeah. And now Apple being that evil company that it is, they're announcing their iPad Mini on next Tuesday, which is kind of gonna steal the spotlight from this.
Yeah, I mean they announced the iPad Mini, and its price may not match something like the Nexus tablet or even the Kindle Fire HD, but it'll be more along that end of the spectrum, just kind of leaving Microsoft Surface tablets hanging out there with hey, 500, no.
Exactly, it's going to make them look ridiculous. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. Even if the iPad Mini is completely very, the hardware isn't all that, right. It's still going to make the Surface tablets look insanely priced.
Right. Yeah. They should have waited. They really, really should have held off and waited till after the Mini. I mean, because that's really what the buzz is now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think maybe that someone knew that the Surface was going to be announced in pricing, and that's why there was the delay on the iPad Mini announcement? Because remember, the rumor was it was supposed to be this week. So
the rumor was that it was supposed to be this week, but then it is weird the way it happened. Like just today, Tuesday, first it was like, oh, last night the Microsoft Store had the tablet for $4.99, and then they took it down.
Right.
And then like, a couple of hours later, Microsoft came out and said like, yep, it's the price, $4.99 is legit. Then like an hour after that, Apple said like, oh guys, next Tuesday we're announcing something mini.
Yeah.
Like,
Seems a little too convenient that it all happened the way it did.
Yeah.
Though why wouldn't Microsoft have leaked it and kind of judged a reaction on the price?
That would have been smart.
Right, because then they could have said, like, oh, well, no, we just put, placeholder prices up there for that. Like, we'll adjust,
Yeah.
I don't know. But, I mean, at $4.99, maybe this gives them the leeway to discount it during the holidays. I don't know. If they don't, I don't see anyone running out to buy a Microsoft Surface tablet when there's the iPad at the same.
Right. The Mini is going to steal the show. It is absolutely, and I hate saying that, but the Mini is really going to steal the show.
Yeah.
Interesting sidebar, though. We went. My wife and I went into L.A. To go see the Book of Mormon, the musical.
Sure.
Oh, cool.
And we were driving down Hollywood Boulevard, and on the side of a building that looked like an apartment complex, that had this just huge concrete wall. There was scrawled up there, or what appeared to be scrawled, but I'm sure it was a marketing technique, an ad for the Surface tablet. It had a big square and then a little thing underneath that looked like a keyboard, and it just said Surface underneath. It was very it was very graffiti-esque, but it was the first actual marketing piece that I had ever seen for the Surface. Well, scrolled onto a building. Unless there's some new gang in LA that I just don't know about.
They call the Surface.
Called the Surface, exactly.
I have to give props to Microsoft for their marketing. They're coming out aggressive with their marketing for the Surface. I don't know if you guys saw the premiere of Walking Dead.
Yes,
on
absolutely.
Sunday, and there was a Surface commercial. I think at least 2 Surface commercials in there.
Yeah, as well as Microsoft Windows 8.
Right. Right.
See, a show like The Walking Dead kind of shoots itself in the foot. No pun intended. Because in a post-apocalyptic world, you can't really have a lot of
tablets. No tablets.
Right, you can't have a lot of tablets, so you can't have a lot of like product placement in them, right? I mean, yeah, you can have them find like a cache of Coke or something and be like, the choice of the next generation. I know that's Pepsi, whatever. But you can't be like, oh, let me see where the zombies are on my Microsoft Surface tablet. So they really kind of cut off a revenue.
Well, maybe they just have to be a little more creative. Like there could be a zombie in the window, and one of the characters goes, "Look, a zombie in the windows."
8 of them.
By Microsoft Corporation.
Right. They're all over the surface of the road.
Brought to you by Microsoft.
RT. Right, a new character named RT.
RT, right.
Mike, I don't know, someone named Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe's gone soft on the surface, RT. Do I need to write The Walking Dead for it?
I think so. I think you need to call in.
All right, we don't want to spend too much time on this, but I do want to know, I have it DVR'd. Was it worth watching The Walking Dead?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Right.
It was the best, at least I thought. I mean, Lewis, you might disagree, but I thought it was, it started off at the same level of intensity.
Yep.
Yeah, at the same level of intensity, and then just started to rise from there.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It leaves you wanting next Sunday to come as fast as possible.
Oh, yeah.
At least for me. At least for me, it did.
Yeah, we were actually so surprised that it ended as fast as it did.
Right, yeah.
It's over already, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, then I will watch it. I will not delete it from my...
No. You need to watch it.
All right, I'll have to carve time for it. I don't know. My viewing schedule is already filled up. I don't know what I'm going to do when The Bachelor returns. What? Nothing. Didn't say nothing. All right, let's see. What else do we want to talk about as we quickly run out of time? There's so many good stories.
Oh, I know.
Week.
There are a lot of really good ones.
One that I actually would like to cover. This one is about Amazon. The news came out that Jeff Bezos, I guess. Bezos? I think Bezos. He said that on the Paperwhite and the Kindle Fire HD, Amazon does not make any money on them. Now, we kind of speculated this. We thought that they were maybe lost leaders. The thing that he confirmed that was actually kind of quite shocking to me is that they actually break even on them. So they're selling you this tablet and that ebook reader at cost. So whatever it costs them to make, that's what they charge you for it. So that's kind of ridiculous. I thought they were
That's-
taking a hit on each of them.
That's interesting. So in other words, it's basically like an inkjet printer.
Yeah.
In the sense of they just use that as a vehicle and try to make the money end on the back end on books and apps and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like razors, where the joke was always you give away the razor and you charge for the blades, but they're even charging for the razor, so they're not even losing anything on it. It's just kind of like, oh well, whoever wants one of these things can have them. We'll just dole them out to whoever pays for them because we break even on them, and in the hopes that they buy music and ebooks and videos on them. So that was kind of awesome to hear for me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, he was pretty honest. He was very honest.
Yeah, I mean I'm glad he was honest, but at the same time, it's like, man, I'm going. Hopefully, I would think that they would be making some money somewhere down the line, because they're certainly not making it off of me, because I maybe buy one book, actually pay for one book a year. I always usually get the free books or the.
Remember what was it, that quote that Amazon said? Like, if our tablet doesn't encourage the consumer to purchase apps, we failed as a company.
Right. They have failed you, Dan. You should write them a letter and say, "You have failed me, Jeff Bezos. Give me stuff I want to buy."
Well, I'm going to wait till I open my Amazon store before I do that.
Right.
So get
your third-party store set up first.
Exactly.
So even if you buy one book, at like $5, maybe, they still make 70% of that, or 30% of that. 70% goes to the book author. So a little bit. It's here and there. If they can get a tablet into everyone's hands, if everyone buys, just one book a year, that adds up. It's volume. It's all about volume.
It is.
I have a story about volume. May I sidebar on this? There's a place up the street that sells beer. The name of the place is like Beer. It has like 13 E's in it, and they have a great selection. And now's the great time to go to them because of all like the Harvest and Oktoberfest and pumpkin ales and stuff. But every time you buy beer from them, it's always like, oh, $12.99, $13.99, $11.99, for a 6-pack or whatever. And he never gives you the penny. And it didn't bother me until I started thinking about it. If he does this to every customer who comes in, he's making like an extra $1 a day, maybe. And then that means an extra $30 a month. And I decided to take a stand. And I now stand there and stare at him until he gives me a penny. And I've never felt more cheap. So I just wanted to share that with everyone.
So in other words, he's started his own Starbucks app where it just rounds up to the nearest dollar.
Exactly.
He's taking the tip for himself.
There he goes.
Yeah, and at first, he would just take the money and then kind of walk away, and I was like, but now I don't budge. I stay there until I get the penny
you get
back.
the penny back? Do you really?
I do. It's principle. It is.
I used to do that too. I used to not care about the penny because I know a lot of places that would do that. They were like, oh, here it is, $4.99. You give them a $5 bill. You don't see them again.
Right.
But then I was like, wait a minute. I mean, if I have $4.99 and I want to buy this, you're not going to sell it to me. You're going to say you need an extra penny. So why am I going to let you walk away with that penny? I mean, granted, a penny's a penny. I could really care less about it. But it's the principle.
It adds up.
Yeah.
Now, if you do that for everything for your entire life, maybe you would have saved an extra couple $100, and then not just me. If he's pulling this on every customer that goes in there, someone must take a stand.
Maybe he's saving up to buy an iPad Surface or an iPad Surface. Wow, that was a Freudian slip. The hybrid,
right? He's saving up to design an iPad Surface.
Yeah. The iPad Surface, great. Now Apple's lawyers are going to come after me. Wonderful. Now, you know what though? But I mean, is that an East Coast thing? Because out here,
you're so
that never happens. Nobody ever.
What do you mean?
Nobody ever doesn't give you change.
I don't know. I think maybe they just figure, something in their mind. They have to have thought about it, right? I mean, they can't just be like, "Oh, well, who wants the penny?" That can't be their thought process.
No, it's got to be premeditated.
Right. That at some point when they're at home, they're like, "Gosh, if I keep that penny, even if they did do it the first time, just being like, oh, it's a penny, they won't care." Then they're sitting at home one day and be like, "Well, if I do that for everybody, I like making extra couple bucks every day.
It's a retirement plan.
Yeah, so it's not like he's just like, oh, the guy will want the penny, whatever. It's just easier for everyone. He must have thought about the ramifications of how much extra money he's making off of this.
Yeah.
Small business owners stealing my penny. How dare you in this economic hard times? I know.
I think I'm going to try that with a panhandler next time. I'm going to wait for my change. see how long I have to stand there staring at him.
Here's $1 and
the 75 cents back, please.
Right.
Can I have a receipt for my taxes?
On the flip side, I do appreciate it when you go to a store and you buy something. Let's say it's like $4.10 or $4.05, and you give them a $5, and they're like, oh, just give me $4. That's fine.
Right.
That's cool when you do that. Yeah.
That's very cool. But the other way around, if it's that penny, by gosh, I'm gonna make a stand for it.
Right.
Seriously.
I sound so cheap. Oh,
That's
of course
right.
I work for this company. So, all right, let's see. We have time for one last story, the one I would like to cover, and I think you guys would too.
I hope it's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So one of the executives at McDonald's
Yes.
was talked to about why the McRib comes and goes, and his explanation was essentially that he did not use these words. I'm using these words. The McRib is kind of like the Boba Fett of the first trilogy of Star Wars. If you limit its like the time it appears, it creates this kind of like cool effect to it, So it's like Boba Fett didn't appear very much in the first 3 movies, didn't appear in the first one at all, and everyone thought he was the greatest character ever. So what did George Lucas do? He chock-a-blocked him full in the next 3 movies. It was all about him and people who looked all like him, and he's not as cool anymore.
Right.
So with the McRib, what McDonald's is doing is they release it at key strategic times so that it has the most impact on its customers. Man, these are the kind of things you have to think about when you run a giant global conglomerate.
I'm telling you.
What's the most impact the McRib would have?
Yeah.
Charts and graphs and everything. But it comes out, this guy says that it comes out around December because they don't have, well, his line was, we don't really do polar bears, meaning that they don't really have any holiday offerings. And I'm thinking, well, that's a trick you're missing, right? I mean, why can't you have like a peppermint flavored milkshake or a peppermint flavored burger or something during the holidays, right? Well, they could come up with tons of stuff, right?
You would think McDonald's especially. I mean, they come out with a Shamrock Shake. They come out with all these other things. It's like, why can't they come out with a Christmas food?
They have found food to match St. Patrick's Day that isn't like corned beef or I don't know what else. What do people Irish stew? That's what we typically have.
Well, I would think though if they did a peppermint flavored McRib, it would taste like it had gone south. You know what I mean? It's got that tang to it that meat couldn't have.
More south, I think you mean. More south. But I mean, seriously, like I don't know, like peppermint is kind of synonymous with the holidays. You make anything peppermint, release it as a dessert, and boom, you have yourself like a holiday treat. Why
like
can't
pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Or throw cinnamon on it. That's very Christmassy, holiday-ish.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sure. Like a vanilla milkshake, and you throw a handful of cinnamon on a handful of cinnamon. Sounds gross.
That sounds really horrible. That sounds like a dare.
Yeah.
Eat this cinnamon.
And then whistle. Can you whistle with a mouthful of vanilla cinnamon?
But you know what, though? You've got to admit, though, that their marketing of the McRib is well, I'll use another example. It's kind of like the Bigfoot of the fast food world, because it does, the sightings like happen and then people start talking about it, and it really has become a big deal. I mean, I've got people, I probably should pay them because they're doing a free service for me. It's like the minute it comes out, like my Facebook page will explode. I wonder what that says about me, though. Wait a minute. But they'll say,
hey, Dan, you've talked about the McRib a lot. I think I'd like to know about this.
Hey, it just came out. It's over here, on South and Figueroa or whatever. It's like, and then I have people like my stepdaughters actually start bringing them to me. So it's like I've set
like
up
a
my
whole
own
network.
I do. It's like my own little McRib empire.
Breaking rib or
breaking rib, exactly.
He's making McRibs in a trailer, and he has people distributing them. Except it's the other way around. They're all bringing it to you.
Well, they may have been made in the same exact way. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
McRibs are actually extruded and distilled from other food products.
Awesome. I'm okay with that.
All right, guys, that does bring us to the end of this glorious podcast. I would like to thank you guys for joining me. It's been wonderful.
Well,
Thanks,
and we would
Jeff.
like to thank you.
Oh, thank you, and you're welcome.
Well, great.
I guess. Listeners, for links to today's stories, Twitter feeds, blog links, and more, go to our show notes page. Also, feel free to send us feedback to podcast@dealnews.com. And if you'd like, give us a rating over on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice, or on YouTube or wherever you found us. Give us a thumbs up or 5 stars or whatever you'd like. We'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm Jeff Somogyi. Goodbye.